the exchange is something that really changed my life with my business. For those of you that are not familiar, when I started my business, it was an idea. I wasn't selling money or anything like that. Some people have beliefs, and I see them write this in my groups even, and they're like, who here sells something other than business or money? Because I don't know if we can make money if not. Like, people in the coaching industry sometimes believe that if you're a spiritual coach, if you're just a life coach, if you're a relationships coach, the money's not available. But when I started, I literally just taught people how to feel liberated. That was my first business name. It was Liberated, looked like a her in the middle. There's probably a YouTube video somewhere with it still there. But that was my business in the beginning. And I was on welfare. Just before that, I was financially struggling, like all the things financially bad, they were there. But as I went on the journey to start my business, I thought, I'm going to lean in and I'm going to make money, and then I'm going to write all of the things that are out of integrity with my money. I'm going to fix them later when I have the money. But something shifted for me, and there were two primary shifts. The first thing was integrity, so that I could be a woman that magnetized the right women into my life. So I had past due bills, I had all these things, and I didn't have the money for them. But what I did is I started to lead myself to step into a new level of leadership, awareness, and accountability and responsibility. And I opened up all my late bills, I opened up all my mail, I faced my shadows of money and integrity, and I wrote all the places, I called them, and I got on very low payment plans, like literally like $20 a month or something. And there was this circulation of all is right, I'm in positive flow here, I'm back in integrity, and that was the big one for me. The big two was understanding the power of an exchange. Now, when I first was taught business, I took an online business course by a very well-known woman that was amazing, and she was making millions of dollars. Her business model was one very specific way, and when I learned that business model, I tried to replicate that. But what I found was that it was not working for me. It wasn't that it was a bad business model, it works for many people. But at that early stage in my business, what really shifted it for me was like, let me just make an exchange. It was like I tapped into like the merchant archetype. I was just like, let me just focus on making exchanges. And this is when my business really popped. I would have $1,000 a month year, a $3,000 a month year. There was no consistency, but I talked about my business nonstop. I tried to sell things nonstop. I would put stuff out there, but I was like almost in this disconnected way, just thinking I could put stuff out there and not really get it, if that makes sense. Like I just was kind of going through the motions. But something changed when I created my first group program. And for me, I think group programs are such a great way to grow your business because there's an energy of group, community that gives your people something that like you one-on-one can't give them. And it doesn't mean that one-on-one's not powerful. In fact, when someone works with me one-on-one, they're going to have the most tremendous shifts, I think, because we're working at a deeper level and they can't hide. I see them. But there's some people that are so activated in the group. So it's like the group gives an aspect, a gift that one-on-one can't give. So that's just something I want to put out there. Do both, right? Like do both. But I want you to understand that if one-on-one, for those of you that are coaches, feels heavy, feels hard, there may be a new way. It could be a program. It could be a paid masterclass. It could be lots of different things. So back to the exchange. Before, I was selling things at a very set price. It was like $1,500 for 3 months of coaching, or do this thing for $197. And when they weren't hitting or being like bought by my people, I felt a feeling of like, this is so hard. Is this ever going to work? And it was like a very structured way that I thought I had to sell. But when I had my first group program, I made up my mind to just focus on having exchanges. Now I don't run my business like this, but it worked in the beginning, and I'll tell you what it was and I'll tell you why I liked it. So in this, I decided to have a group program, and I wanted to have 10 people. And I knew for my own confidence, for my own gifts, for the people that are in this group, I just wanted 10 people in there. I didn't care how they came. They were coming, and I was going to have an exchange with them. And by exchange, I mean that I was going to offer them this program. They were going to exchange me money for it. Now, in this decision, though, I was completely open and flexible to how they paid. They had to pay something, but I was open to how it came through. So here's what I mean by that. It was a program. It was such an easy program too, just to give you an idea of how easy things can be. I wasn't as confident in what I was going to teach. Like now I can just channel lots of things, but at the time I wasn't as confident as what I could teach. So I put out this program. It was 4 weeks. It was called Gold Diggers. I used like literally a stock photo on Canva or something. It was so easy how I put it together. And I just made a decision that this program was going to be full. I put it out into the world, and at $497, I decided that people could pay in full $497. They could split pay. They could do $10, $50 payments. I didn't care. There was going to be an exchange. Now, I want you all to tune into this. Like, when I say that, what does that feel like? Does it feel triggering? Like, no, I could not do that. Or does it feel playful? Like, what does that feel like of just like focusing on an exchange? Especially for those of you that have not made $100,000 yet. Have you ever done this, and what does this feel like to you? I want to like tap into this for a moment because there's information that's here for us.